Nice show. Good morning.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Favorite day of the week. You know what? Unpopular opinion.
Is it your favorite day of the week?
It is, because I like to start my day with a cafe. My Tuesdays are like my people days. Like all of my meetings with my teams, like a lot of my meetings, my entire team meeting, and then a lot of my one-on-one meetings with my team.
On Tuesdays?
So I really enjoy those days.
I think Thursday is my favorite day.
It's like a pre-game to a Friday.
Yeah, and it's just always seems to be a good day. Good things happen on Thursdays, I feel like.
Do you know, like, unpopular opinion, I'm willing to admit it, unpopular opinion, I've had that up the entire time. Hi, it's us. Unpopular opinion, I'm the
like
best
Mondays.
on Mondays.
Oh, for sure, me too.
I am so productive on Mondays, and I'm usually pretty well rested, other than, like, sicky kids, you know.
I agree, and I think it goes with one of the things we're going to talk about. It's because we had, like, a break.
Rest. You get some rest. You get some break.
Yes,
You got to do
you had some rest.
You live your life. So welcome, everybody. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the Medicare Cafe. You are joined by your host. My name's Olivia Richardson.
And I'm Carrie Boat, and I will probably never sing on here.
I was beautiful. I don't know how
It was beautiful.
I don't know how I haven't been discovered. This is something I tell my husband all the time.
Popping up. There's something popping up over there.
Oh, it's just saying, like, hey, we can, if people are being mean, we have the right to kick them off.
Don't
so
be
if you're
mean to
mean,
us,
if you're mean
please.
in our chat, then we can kick you off.
I've never noticed that. Is that usually there?
I don't think so.
Maybe
If you want to be
we've
mean,
had some negative
maybe
commentary that we don't know about.
Maybe that sounds about right. If you do want to be mean to us and not it be public, I'm looking at you, Brian. You can text us here.
This line.
This is our text line. It comes directly to me and Carrie, or you can comment on the Facebook, on the internet machine here. So, welcome. Life updates. Carrie and I had the MMG Christmas party on Friday, and it was the best time ever.
So fun.
More
we actually got to hang out together outside of this.
We literally went to each other and we said, hey. We, like, walked up, like, I saw you across the room, our eyes met, we walked up to, and at the same time we both said, we finally got this drink together. We finally got our drink together. Mary says, can I be the first one kicked off, or have you already booted somebody? Mary, I can't imagine you saying a mean thing. You can try.
We haven't booted anybody off.
We haven't booted anybody off yet, but Mary, I can't imagine you being mean. So you can try, I guess.
Yeah.
So again, this is the time of year, guys. What we wanted to talk about today was kind of like this weird, I'm feeling it in the office. I'm feeling just kind of this like limbo. This, like, holiday season, what the hell do I do with my life? Kind of coming down from AEP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more of an AEP come down than even holidays.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. I can see that. And it's because, like, you're so used to, like, back to back to back to back to, like, now nobody really wants to meet because everybody's in the holiday spirit. Everybody has family coming in or traveling, so, like, nobody really wants to sit down and have a meeting.
I had 3 turning 65 meetings yesterday,
and
again, I was salty about it. I was like,
business? What? I don't want to write new business.
I know.
I was salty about it. I love it.
I was.
So today we're going to talk about things that you can do to make sure that you do stay, and I put, like, productive in quotation marks, things to make sure you can stay productive during the holiday season that I think really is going to help set you up positively for January 2nd. Because January 1st, you're recovering for different reasons.
Yes.
Right?
So January 2nd.
January 2nd. You have our permission to get going. And this one, me and Carrie actually, like, put our thoughts together separately, and we both put this in here, which is like, hey, take a break. Like, you don't have to be, you're just coming down from AEP. You need to make sure, like, you are rewarding your, like, hard work those 8 weeks out of the year by actually, like, spending time with your family, slowing down, recharging those batteries.
And not just, like, taking a break from meetings, but, like, there's, like, some weekends that I will literally, like, turn off. So I have, like, a work phone. I, like, put it in a far away corner and I never look at it. I've turned off my email notifications before because I, like, want a mental break.
Exactly. Because it's so easy. I mean, think of it like this. Think about 10 years ago, 20, especially, like, 20 years ago, but even as late as 10 to 5 years ago, when you weren't at the office, when you weren't in front of your computer, when you weren't, there, you actually had physical separation. Yeah. Now, thanks to these little bastards,
right?
You never get
it.
That separation. So I think but you had a really good point, and I did include it on there, which is like, make sure, though, that you don't have to be available 24/7, but set the expectations. Make sure on your voicemail and on your email.
Set an away message.
Set that away message. And even, like, you can do an automatic text response being like, I am not available during this time, because you don't want somebody, like, have an emergency or something happen, or they feel like it's an emergency. It's not an emergency. Yeah. They haven't gotten their cards yet, the 3 days after AEP.
Or things even, like what I like saying is not that you're, like, because, see, I was just thinking about this yesterday. Like, I don't know how long I'm going to, like, take a break. And so I might just say, like, I will have, like, limited access to email for this many days. So, like, I'm still, I might check it this day, but I don't know. So I don't know how to word it.
I think it's just saying something along the lines of, like, again, what I would do for me was, like, I would take my 2-3 days off, take a couple hours on the 4th day just to review everything, make sure it's all good, put it back away, and reset another message. Because, again,
Mary speaking to my heart
Christmas
here.
music and
cookie baking. If there is any other job that I was destined to do, aside from being an insurance agent and a mother, it's a baker. Baking is my hobby. That is my hobby. Oh my gosh.
Man, now that Missouri's
baked brownies
legalized,
this morning.
I was gonna say, Missouri's legalized some recreational medications.
Oh.
And so when I hear people are getting baked, that's not what I anticipated.
She didn't say getting baked. She said baking last weekend.
Listen.
I'll bake you something.
Thank you.
Not edible.
Not a special brownie. Not a special
just
brownie. A normal brownie. I'd appreciate that. That's something that I will say, like, getting into the holiday spirit. I've always been, like, I love Christmas, I love the holidays, but, like, definitely, like, was over the cheesy movies and the cheesy that. Having a kid that is obsessed with, like, Santa Claus and everything like that just brings it back. Like, I love it now. I'm all in. Brian said he would be a lounge singer if he wasn't selling insurance. Congratulations to Brian, by the way. He's been doing a whole client acquisition or book of business acquisition stuff. So he is set up to have a really awesome 2023.
Congrats,
That's
Brian.
something our team does a really good job of. We have a book of business team that helps you acquire books of business, helps you sell your book of business. And
That's awesome.
Brian's was a tricky one. It took all year, but no excuse, Brian. You're going to do great things in 2023 or else.
I love it. Good for you.
Yes. Mary says, Brian, let us know where you'll be performing so we can get baked goods.
Yes.
So a couple of things, guys, that we talked about.
Take up knitting.
Knitting. No, it's my nightmare, but somebody wants to do it, right?
Love to read books and podcasts. That's my favorite thing for, like, when I'm taking a break, but I still want to, like, feel productive. Is read a good book and listen to the podcast that I've been wanting to do.
I'll tell you what. So here's
that is, like, fun downtime / productivity to me.
My problem is that I get invested in something and then I'm all in and then I get burnt out really easy.
Oh, okay.
That's me in a nutshell, right?
Okay.
I'm all in or I'm ignoring it. Okay. And so my problem is I got really into, like, sales podcasts, inspirational podcasts, business podcasts. And to the point now, if I hear, like, anybody's, like, I can't even think of one right now. If I hear, like, the podcast of selling and things like that, it makes me vomit. So what I recommend is making sure that you do some, like, inspirational, some business and selling podcasts, but make sure you, like, have fun stuff in there as well. It's all about balance. So
for sure,
even if, making sure that you're doing both. And I put take up knitting just because,
follow
like,
up on you.
No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not knitting. Nope.
Take up baking.
Someone should take up baking. Apparently, I'm coming up with a new hobby. No, I think my hobby is I do nail art, and I'm gonna work on my nail art this year.
Okay, and then educate me.
I will. Yes, that is my. Funny story about Olivia that no one asked for and no one really needed to hear. I'm so bad at, like, art that I actually got kicked out of my high school art class. Because
I don't believe it.
Because I'm no joke. Because she didn't think, like, I was a lost cause. She's like, you don't possess the talents to be good at this.
A teacher can't say that.
She was my aunt. She was my aunt. She was the art teacher, and she's like, Olivia, you're in band. you don't need this fine arts credit. Why don't you go do something else? And I said, okay. So
now you can show her all your nail art and say, take this.
Look at this, Sherry. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about some things that you actually can do. And I'm speaking Carrie's love language right now, which is getting organized. What's on your to-do list just warmed my heart. So what is on your to-do list right now?
Right now, so I kind of have like a couple to-do lists. I have like
in pure Carrie fashion, yes.
Well, so there's a lot of stuff that like during AEP, I make a whole separate after AEP to-do list that like I would add to that, like, okay, this is stuff that it can wait until after the 7th. So I like clean up that when I can.
Yeah,
it's simple things.
I'm smiling, but this is really great advice. Like I'm smiling because it just warms my heart, but this is very solid advice.
Like for instance, if I met with somebody 2 weeks ago and they said, I have a new address, can you update it with all the carriers? Or like in the thick of AEP, like I didn't have time to do that. So like I have a whole list of like, I need to send these address updates to the carriers. Things like that.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So I have that stuff. And then I also like during my downtime, during my breaks, like I still make to-do lists, as like ridiculous as that sounds. But I like...
It's good. Like it's compartmentalizing in a way that you don't have to store it, because when you store it in your brain, you have anxiety with it. That's everybody. If you think like it's taking up mental energy that you don't want to expunge, just having a to-do list. So actually writing it out, having them categorized really does kind of free up some mental space.
Yeah,
I get behind that. And you said that you had on there like have like some of your to-do lists, especially this time of year, is like have lunch with a friend.
Absolutely.
Do things like that.
Work out. I have like a whole workout, and then like fun things I want to do too. There's a couple there's 3 different baking things I want that are on there.
Okay, well, whenever you're ready to do that, let me know. Me and Kate will come over and sample.
Hey, anytime.
I love it. So a couple other things other than making those to-do lists of like everything, make sure like what did you not see? Who did you not see during AEP? Those need to be your Q1 appointment. So you don't even have to do anything with that information, but just know who do you need to target January 2nd. Your Q1 marketing strategy, we always say a good marketing strategy is a 3-pronged system. And so making sure, and it's also really important to make sure that you can do that marketing system for about 3 months to really see how well it works.
What are the three prongs?
It can be up to anything you want. Is it your 3 prongs are seminars? Is it Facebook advertising? Okay. Is it purchasing leads? Is it doing, let me try to think of all the things. Is it, we're having certain networking partners. Okay. So there's like a bunch of like, there's a list of like 15 things that we say marketing techniques that work. Pick 3 of them and do those 3 of them for 3 months to see what your outcome is, and then adjust after that. If you're somebody that like, I hate cold calling, I don't want to cold call, I'm really bad at it, then don't have that be your marketing system. Have other stuff in place. We say 3 works because 4 can be too many depending on kind of the influx of it, and you can waste your money.
Yeah.
If you do anything less than 3, you're not keeping your funnel full. If you're putting all your eggs in one basket, if one thing goes wrong with that, then you're out of any prospects.
True.
So
3 is a good number.
3-prong marketing system is kind of what we see works.
I'm trying to like analyze what my 3 are.
So
right now, I know I do the networking partners.
You do the networking partners for one.
do seminars.
You do seminars.
And I guess it would be social media.
Because you do your Medicare Minute.
Right.
So that's your 3 prongs.
3.
You're doing it without
I'm doing 3.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm trying to think if I have any others.
So, and I would just say make sure that you plan accordingly with your budget, knowing that you're going to receive significant paychecks in January, and just know like literally you have to make sure that paycheck's going to cover your marketing budgets for the year.
Another thing I do to get organized this time of year that I spent probably 2 hours doing yesterday was tax stuff, like working on my expenses.
I don't know how taxes work.
Just because it's less stuff that I want to do when I'm actually busy again at the beginning of next year before April.
It's just so easy whenever you work so hard and you get those fat checks in January. You just like, because you get your renewals then, you get your checks for during AEP and all that stuff, and like it's so easy to just be like, here's everything I'm going to buy. They say 2 things will kill an insurance agent's business. Number 1, taxes, because no one accounts for the taxes come April. And 2 is being underinsured. Surveys done of like how much insurance an insurance agent has is like appalling.
Really?
Yeah, most insurance agents have themselves and their business severely undercovered, and so undercovered.
I didn't know that statistic. That surprises me.
It's crazy how much illness and being unable to work for a certain amount of time because of illness, hospital stays, things like that. It's crazy how much. Well, because your body is your machine, right?
Yeah.
If you're not working, you're not making money. Yeah. So huge reasons. Yep. So getting organized, obviously, those are just some ideas. Who do you need to see in Q1? Who did you not see during AEP? Checking the status of your business. Make sure that everybody's showing up in your commission schedules, that they're not. And, of course, the big one is going to be the $35 insulin. Making sure your clients are really educated about what to expect when they go get their insulin in January and in July. Making sure that there's no questions unturned for that. And just knowing, who should you reach out to about that insulin.
Something I don't do this, I will not do this year because I didn't have anybody switch, but one of the things I always have on my January to-do list is to reach out to those that switched during AEP from original Medicare to Medicare Advantage.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it was an unsettling switch.
They're nervous.
Not unsettling, but yeah, it's a nervous.
Just scary.
And so I would always reach out to them in January just to touch base. But
so funny story. Me and Sadie last week did a how to protect your business during OEP webinar. It's on our YouTube page. Check it out. But that's one of the big things we talk about is reaching back out to them, and especially after a pharmacy visit. There's something in my eye. Especially after a pharmacy visit and everything, how to make sure that business is protected.
Yeah, love it.
So. The next thing, guys, that we say that you can do during this downtime of year is try to kind of figure out who are some new networking partners. Right now, the industries, again, fourth quarter is crazy busy for everyone, but that week between Christmas and New Year's, everybody is kind of in a lull and kind of this, it's a recharge period. So be respectful of that. It is a recharge period for everybody. I actually heard this from a UHC rep once, that they say during snow, which Thursday we're supposed to get crazy weather. They said during a snowstorm, look on the news the night before, and every place that has a cancellation, the first places that have cancellations are typically people who cater to seniors. And so that's a great way to gather a list of potential networking partners, is to watch those weather advisories and see all the places listing is closed.
Interesting.
So that's a great hit list to be they're closing early, or they're already announcing their closures. They must cater to seniors. I must go be their friend.
It's so true. I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning who, she's an insurance agent for group health here. She was just like, yeah, I'm not even asking anybody to meet this week or next because nobody wants to meet. And so she's like, I just pretty much have a lull. You want to go to lunch? And I was like, hey, that's on my to-do list.
That's my to-do list, is have lunch with a friend.
Have lunch with a friend.
Well, and it is, for me personally, I'll be the first to admit, I don't have a lot of meetings. The next week I'm out. I don't have a lot of meetings. Yesterday especially, I don't have a lot of, urgent things that need to get done because nobody wants to do things, but people still want to feel productive.
Yes.
So what a great way to be let's do business and pleasure. Let's go out and get coffee. Let's go out and have lunch so that you feel like you're being productive with somebody and they really don't have a lot of meetings scheduled otherwise, and just kind of get your foot in the door. So this is a really good time to, I would say, use the holiday spirit. Go bring people Christmas cookies and go kind of get the foot in the door for some of those relationships right now.
I don't remember if it was on a podcast I heard this or I read it somewhere, but I remember somebody saying, if you want something to get done, ask a busy person to do it.
That's the truth.
Because if you ask somebody who's unproductive, it's just never going to get done.
It gets delayed.
And
because
it's so true. Because when I think about how do we survive during AEP, how do we get it all done? And we do, because we have to.
You do, yeah. Success is not even an option. You just do it.
Exactly. And so just do what you can to make those breaks productive.
Brian's,
oh no, we're frozen. We're hardcore frozen.
I'm so pretty though. Look at how pretty we are. Brian texted and he took the be mean and via the text to heart.
Oh,
he's making fun of the fact. So Brian and I had a dinner together probably 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it came out at that dinner that I used to be when I was in high school band. I was a flag girl. One of the dancers with the flags in the beginning of it. And so he has a lot of thoughts and opinions about my old days twirling a flag. We also had on here, I'm trying to figure out how to work the T65s with the new phone recording requirements. Use a third party to record calls for AEP, but it doesn't work with calling the T65s for initial conversation.
Why wouldn't that work?
That'd be interesting. I think like the technicalities, I would understand like why, the technicalities of that. I'll tell you this though, when it comes to turning 65ers, I am a huge believer that there is no push style marketing that works on a T65er. Emails, phone calls, letters. A turning 65er is so crazy. I mean, if you look at a phone call, how many phone calls a T65er gets and how many pieces of letter or mail they get, it's overwhelming. It's almost like abusive.
My
like,
T65s bring their stack in. Almost all of them. They have a manila file, and they're like, do I need any of this?
And the answer
and
like,
they just like keep it all.
Yes.
And I'm like, no. And they're like, can you look through it? And I'm like, I can,
your stuff will get lost
in
the shuffle. But let me ask you this. How do you get your T65ers? None of them are from Alito. They're all from referrals. So there's something called push marketing versus pull marketing. Push marketing means I'm sending you stuff. It's sending you leads. It's sending you mailers. It's giving you phone calls. It's pushing your content in front of them. Pull style marketing is they're coming to me, not because I sent them something, but my reputation, my referrals, my name recognition, my brand recognition. That's pull style marketing. On a T65er, that push style does not work because they're so inundated, and you're competing against United Healthcare, AARP, Humana, Aetna. We don't have the marketing budget that they have.
Right.
We have, sometimes we are local, things like that, but you're not going to stand out in the crowd. You're not going to be the first phone call. You're not going to be the last. And so when you do push style marketing, it actually works super well for the 68 through 74 market because they are orphaned. They are looking for money savings. They oftentimes got written by a call center or a flash in the pan agent and never heard back from them. So they are people who know how Medicare work, understand the workings of it, but are interested in support and interested in savings. So for the T65 market, stick with that pull, work on your marketing, work on your brand recognition. Seminars are great for the T65 market. I don't recommend your networking partners. I just don't recommend cold calling or door knocking or mail blasting the T65ers.
So, but what was her question? The call recordings wouldn't work for that?
Yeah, I went on a tangent, but she was talking about use a third party to record calls for AEP, but it doesn't work with calling to T65ers for initial conversation. My understanding of that, a lot of times if you use Medicare Center, they get that whisper when you call out. It says you're being connected. It's like that voice. So most people are going to hang up if they don't recognize the number. And just especially baby boomers, if they don't recognize a phone number, they don't answer the phones. And so cold calling is super cold calling, and honestly the mailers have really gone downhill for responses because the baby boomer demographic just doesn't respond like the demographic before them.
I would say it's safe to say well over 50% of my 65-year-olds, we set up our initial means of communication is email. And we set up our first meeting that way.
But again, you get your people by somebody saying, you need to go talk to Carrie. Right. Carrie does insurance for my group. You need to go talk to Mary. That's that pull style marketing. You didn't have to put your information or you're not putting a call to action in front of somebody expecting them to respond to it. They are coming to you based off your reputation and brand.
Because even it happens over and over and over. I will call them back, but they don't know my number. They haven't put it in their phone.
No.
Or I'm calling from the Ring Central line, which they
might not recognize. Yep.
And so they don't answer it because they don't recognize it. So then we end up playing phone tag, and then they finally just email. Over and over it happens.
But when you email them first, that's okay because it's recorded. Just keep that email for 10 years. You got the chain of enrollment. Boom, ready to go.
There you go.
Texting works the same way. If you text them, just keep that text for 10 years. Yeah. You're golden. So the next thing we have on here, speaking of push versus pull marketing, speaking of push versus pull marketing, we just want to put some stress-free marketing ideas, things that aren't going to take up too much of your time or mental capacity during the holidays. I love holiday cards, getting those out, telling people that you're thinking of them. Social media, just schedule those out 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, and video, just put videos up there of you with your family, a video of your office, a video.
I'm excited to get back doing that. I did a all stop during EP, which is the worst.
The worst time to do that, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, go silent whenever people are actively like, help me.
That's what I did. Red flag me.
Don't red flag. I mean, like, those with glass houses throw the first stone.
Fancy,
I don't know what that even means.
Is that applicable right there?
I don't know, but it sounded fancy.
It was fancy.
And then last but not least, go volunteer. Doing something as easy as I say toy drives, but just donating a bunch of your girl toys.
Yes, or Meals on Wheels.
Meals,
I love Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, you're the person that introduced me to Meals on Wheels. That was kind of like mine and yours first, like, hey, this person
that's right.
named Carrie. That was back in 2020 during COVID.
Oh, COVID?
Yeah, no, it was 19 because it was, we were trying to figure out.
No, it was at the beginning of COVID. It was 2020.
Because we were trying to figure out, like, how does our office help the people who were most affected by COVID at the time that were our seniors. How do we help them?
Yeah.
And I get this call saying, you really need to talk to this girl named Carrie. She's very involved in Meals on Wheels. She's an agent. You'd love her. And I said, she sounds sketch, but we'll try it.
Super sketch.
Years later, here we are.
Here we are.
I love it.
Little did we know.
Little did we know. Last thing, guys, and I'm going to preach this to the last the blue in the face. Write them down your goals. Write down your goals.
Write them down, or what's the point of having them?
What's the point?
They're not real unless they're written down.
It's the statistics of,
and
like,
even better,
writing them down,
Like, I write them down and email them or text them to, like, my managers. So I'm like, hey, you now know my goals.
Keep me accountable.
I've written them down, but now you know them too.
We call those accountability buddies.
Accountability buddies.
Accountability buddy. A buddy to keep me accountable for my goals. Writing them down, having them as step 1, writing them down as step 2, telling somebody as step 3. If I guarantee you, I will stand here right now. If you do all 3 of those, I guarantee you this year you'll hit, without doing anything different, 90% of your goals. Man. Unless your goal this year is to own a yacht and this is your first year of selling insurance. That might be hard. But you'll get a lot closer to that versus
if you write it down.
If you're writing it down. I also, like, one thing that I like that I've had to really tell myself is that there's a difference between expectations versus goals. Goals should be almost not attainable. A goal should be something that's like, I'm going to have to really stretch myself to hit that goal. I said that way because, like, there's when we set goals, a lot of people, like, find that goals can be really discouraging because it's like, I'm not going to hit that. Why should I even try? And so my thing is, you set your expectations. What is it like that your measurement of success? What are your expectations? If you do this, you know you're succeeding.
Right.
Set your expectations and then set your goals just a little
higher.
Beyond what your expectations are. That's a really great way. Make sure they are measurable. Make sure that they have time attached to them. If you just say, I just want to be better this year, that's a crappy goal. Right. Because, like, how do you measure that?
Yep.
There's no time. There's, like, SMART. Do you remember SMART? Simple,
measurable,
attainable, and time sensitive. And
we've forgotten R. Oh, retainable. Sorry.
Retainable?
I missed that one.
What's A then?
Reachable?
I don't know. Reachable? It's... Make sure that they're smart.
We'll figure that one out.
Look up, Google the machine. It's a SMART goal. Or go by Zig Ziglar's wheel. I really like Zig Ziglar's wheel. Lots of goal setting stuff out there.
I just did that. So I've had like a 13% like growth over the last like few years.
Congratulations.
Let's
celebrate that.
I think it was 10% and then 12 and then this past year was 13. And so I was like, all right, I'm expecting to at least grow that much, but my goal is 20. So yeah,
that's
just went a little bit higher.
What a great example of what a good goal should be. Your expectations of yourself are that 12 to 15.
Yeah.
Your goal is 20.
My goal is 20.
I love it.
We'll see if it can happen.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with us during this weird... this is another way to be productive, right? Like, you can be productive by watching the cafe. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for being productive, hanging out with us on the cafe. Before we jump off here for the day, I'm still looking at my text. Any questions, comments, concerns, threats, or promises? Thank you. Thank guys.
Nice.
Happy holidays to both of you and your families.
You
Happy
too.
holidays to you, mystery person.
We don't
Text
know.
me your name.
Yes,
I don't know your name. Happy holidays to you too. We really do appreciate it. We appreciate you guys watching this.
Yes.
We get to do this because you guys keep showing up.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you so much.
And the interaction always helps.
And it's so much fun.
Yes,
it is.
Much fun. It's totally a highlight of my has it been no, I think I started February last year.
You started
It's
February.
almost been a year.
So we're going to be celebrating a year.
I'm not going to be a rookie anymore before long, okay? I'll catch on.
Brian, I increase productivity by only taking Care Bear's advice. That's honestly just good practice in general.
Stop it.
But make sure, again, if you guys do want let me know what content you want to see in 2023.
Yes, please.
You know,
I'm demanding we have an episode about the Social Security designation.
Social Security designation that Carrie is getting, which is just
take my test February 20th.
Fascinating. We need to talk about that. 2 that you've insisted on and we need to do is talking about MAs with
nursing homes and
skilled. That's a whole episode in itself.
It's almost in every appointment, I feel like.
Yeah.
Conversation now.
Yeah. So we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
2022 was the crazy year for changes of the cafe. We got off of GoToWebinar, got on YouTube, and Carrie joined the team. We also had Clayton and Ben having a huge role in the Medicare Cafe closed agent group. Huge year for change of that. 2023, a lot more changes in the works. Very exciting.
Changes. Do I know these changes?
I don't know that I know the changes. But I'm excited to kind of take it to the next level.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for playing along with us. I'm going to check the text messaging.
And if you are traveling this weekend and you're anywhere near Missouri, be safe.
Yeah, girl. 50-mile-an-hour winds on Friday and whiteouts. So careful. Careful with your bad self.
Bad time for travel. Yeah.
So have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time. So until then, have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. Thanks, guys.